Hey, welcome in. Well, this is a very, very interesting development. Here's the headline. Anti-cancel culture Rumble offers Joe Rogan $100 million to leave Spotify. Now, Rumble is quickly becoming the free speech YouTube. I use Rumble. I'm on Rumble. I'm coming up on about 5,400 subscribers there. It's an excellent platform. I don't worry about getting canceled off of it. It's certainly better than anything owned by Google, and I'll take that. And I encourage you to check out Rumble as well, because as your favorite creators are canceled off of the big tech platforms, you'll still be able to find them there. And of course, this is all coming on the heels of an enormous amount of cancel culture pressure on Spotify to get rid of Joe Rogan. And you've had high-profile artists demanding to be taken off, like Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, and Peter Frampton, of course.
Did
I say high profile? I think those might be the wrong words there. I think what I meant was most young people on Spotify have never heard of them. I mean, especially Peter Frampton. I mean, I guess it's a good way to get 15 minutes of attention before everybody forgets who you are again. But anyway, and they, of course, were angry because he had Dr. Robert Malone on his podcast to have a conversation about you-know-what. And even though the least you can say about him is that he was one of the chief architects of mRNA technology, apparently that wasn't rocking in the free world enough for Neil Young and his pals. It turns out when he was saying rockin', what he really meant was censoring. And then, of course, somebody put together a compilation of Joe Rogan using the N-word. Here we have a headline, Joe Rogan apologizes after a compilation of him using racial slurs spreads. Now, anybody who's watched Joe Rogan knows that he wasn't throwing around racial slurs. He was just discussing the word and the use of the word and quoting other people using the words, etc. That's why the compilation doesn't show any of it in context. Because if they showed it in context of how he was actually using it, rational people would say, oh, okay, well, he's obviously not racist. And all of the networks talking about this, like CNN and MSNBC and everybody talking about, they could show the context, but they won't. And there's a reason that they won't, obviously, because then the smear doesn't work. It seems to me kind of insane that there's a word that an entire race of people can't use in any context, like a professor can't use it. You know, if he's quoting literature, it just seems rather insane to me, but we have entered this bizarre realm where context doesn't matter. Intent doesn't matter. And you don't believe me? Just watch CNN. Anyway, let's get into this article. Rumble, a video platform that bills itself as neutral and immune to cancel culture, published a letter Tuesday to embattled podcast host Joe Rogan, asking him to leave Spotify and distribute the Joe Rogan Experience through its service for $100 million. As it plans an ambitious public offering next quarter, it hopes will value the company at $2 billion. And this is the sort of thing that has to happen. I mean, if you'd like to see some sanity restored to the public square, this is what we need. Let's see. In a letter signed by CEO Chris Pavlovsky, Rumble offered Rogan $100 million over 4 years for his total library of shows, the same amount of money that Rogan was reportedly paid by Spotify in 2020 when it became the exclusive publisher of his podcast, and promised no censorship. Well, I mean, that didn't happen, did it? The no censorship part, because there were a number of episodes that were removed when he first went over to Spotify, and now there's been over 70 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience have been removed from Spotify Sunday after widespread criticism, blah, blah, blah. But they're saying that the episodes were removed at Rogan's request. And Rogan's show would remain on Spotify because silencing and canceling voices is not the answer. So Spotify, for now, is still backing Rogan. And what I would really like to see is how many people have actually left Spotify because of this. Because a lot of people joined Spotify, millions of people joined Spotify when Joe Rogan signed on. And just because some people have canceled their subscription to Spotify over this so-called controversy, that doesn't mean that a lot of people haven't signed up because of the controversy. You know, people who decided, You know what? Actually, I think I'll stand up for free speech. Or people that maybe didn't really even know anything about Joe Rogan and then decided to check it out for themselves and went, oh, wait a second, they're lying about him. And actually, I like that Dr. Robert Malone interview. That was really interesting. I'd like to see more of that. Now, I don't expect that Joe Rogan will leave his contract with Spotify. But you have to think, I mean, $100 million over 4 years. I believe that his Spotify contract is $100 million over 10 years. So it's a better deal. Now, is Rumble right now able to actually offer $100 million bucks over 4 years and deliver on that? I don't know. I mean, they're hoping to raise $2 billion, so maybe. But you got to think it's got to be kind of tempting for Rogan. I mean, that's an offer you take a second look at, right? And if it did happen, I mean, that would be enormous. Enormous for Rumble. Enormous for alt tech. So I'm hoping that this actually happens, that Joe Rogan goes to Rumble. But I wouldn't say that I'm very confident of its chances. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. So on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.